Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between Evil Genius's Idra versus Liquid Jinro here on Duel Site. Jinro spawning as the blue Terran player at the 9 o'clock position, meanwhile Idra spawning as the red Zerg over here at the 3 o'clock position. Now, a couple people have asked me if would I consider start making some, how-to guides and some tutorials on StarCraft 2, and I'll put it up to a vote for you guys. You guys watch a lot of my videos. You guys perhaps subscribe to me already, and I thank you very much for doing so. But would you guys want to see my insight or my take on StarCraft 2? Just let me know. Feel free to write in the comments, as there are a lot of good guides out there already, but perhaps you want it to be explained in a little bit of a different manner. I would go ahead and do that. I would probably post them up on Machinima Realm, since there are a little bit more subscribers out there for Realm, as many of you guys have already or know a lot about StarCraft 2 already. So yeah, let me know, write some comments if you want a little bit more information on StarCraft 2 and how to become a better player overall. I'll have to start with the basics, but then hopefully I can educate some of you guys out there, and then I know that I will say something that's wrong occasionally, and you guys can educate me as well. Now, getting into this game, it looks like Idra is going to be opening up with a 15 hatchery. Currently, he should start moving out. Oh, he's going into a 16 hatchery. Wow, so a little bit of a greedy build this time from Idra, knowing that he missed his timing. And I like this adaptation by Idra. Idra, not pulling a drone over, knew that he would have some additional minerals, quickly trained up an additional drone. So this hatchery is a little bit later than, say, normal. But he didn't really fall that far behind, because he was able to train up an extra drone and get a stronger economy into the mid game. As you can see, Idra currently just mining away with 17 drones compared to just 15 SCVs over here, but there is going to be an orbital command up and running in just a moment, giving a nice economic advantage for Jinro. Now, we'll see what Jinro tries to do. MLG Dual Site, a map that is rather small, only 2 spawning locations, and I would say that Jinro definitely has at least a racial advantage on this particular map. The reason why I say that is any map where it's difficult to try to establish up your third base, or any map that has 2 base timing pushes, generally do very, very well. Jinro now opting to go into a very early factory, and we'll see what he makes of this, as Marines are still being funneled out, and he may try to do a little bit of pressure with these 2 Marines. I'm not 100% sure they will be that effective, and any note to any map maker out there: never create a waterfall this big. It is just so loud that oftentimes you can't hear anything else. Yeah, down over here, no waterfall, nothing to worry about. Nice peace and quiet, even though it is the volcanic side of the map. Anyways, 3 Marines now going to be hanging around over by this Zelnaga tower, even though it is just a bunch of question marks. And you can see also a reactor being added in by Jinro, and he's going to be going into an economic build. So he's trying to put some pressure early on with these barracks. And then perhaps getting in a Hellion harassment, and then he's hoping to be able to carry that economic harassment and even up on Idra's bases. So we'll see how that really works out for him. The reactor now about to be completed. It looks like it is going to be a reactor swap there. Double training up Hellions, as Marines are now trying to make their way in. Oh, 1 Queen did take a lot of damage, but this is going to be a little bit of a problem. There's only 3 Marines, and that 1 SCV was trying to scout his way up, did quickly get taken down, and now Idra, with only a little bit of damage on the Queen, didn't really lose all too much. Idra now running off of, 22 drones versus 21 SCVs. There is a mule in play, but also a benefit, but the benefit of Jinro, the benefit of Idra being able to mine off of additional mineral patches means that he is no longer getting those diminishing returns, as Jinro is currently doing. Spawning pool now getting that metabolic boost. 2 Hellions now down over here. It looks like the Marines were cleaned up just a moment ago. Where are those Marines? Marines are back all the way, returned all the way back home, as it looks like he's going to be transitioning into Blue Flame Hellions. And now, very interesting strategy with Blue Flame Hellions, even though Blue Flame Hellions do not 2-shot any workers. Jinro quickly making sure that there is not a third base up by Idra, as this orbital command should be able to establish and defend, start mining off of this location, and then all of these Marines will be making their way down. An Overlord quickly shot down out of the sky, A very, very nice move by Jinro to make sure that he had enough Marines back at home to deny any serious scouting, as Idra really doesn't know what's going on inside the base at all. Oh, rather interesting that you can still see a floating factory over here by Jinro. Hellions quickly taking down a Zergling, and now you see that Idra has spotted an orbital command that was in the process of landing. Hellions are trying to back off. It doesn't look like they'll be able to return all the way home, as the Zerglings do have a slight movement speed advantage. One Hellion may get destroyed. That blue flame tech is not going to complete in time, and wow, those Hellions, very, very nice to see. More Hellions come over to give a little bit of brotherly love there, as the Hellions are now going to get repaired, and now 5 blue flame Hellions are going to be on the move. Now, one thing that is important to note is that blue flame Hellions, if they have the level 1 weapons upgrade from the armory, can still 2-shot drones. So that is very important, but right now it's more important that these Hellions can 2-shot a Zergling. Blue Flame Hellion tech has been completed. The Hellions are now going to be doing a little bit of a push across the center. We are going into a Viking as well. Not quite sure why the Viking is in play, perhaps trying to go Overlord hunting, but you can see that Idra is doing a good job of just trying to keep his Overlords in the not typical locations. There is an Overlord back over here, but there's a little bit of dead space right here that Idra's not going to be able to see. The Fog of War is dead right here, and if the Blue Flame Hellions try to drop into this location, that would be a little bit better, but no, going to drop straight in sight of the Overlord. Not that great of an idea, as Jinro now going to rush in with these Hellions. However, Zerglings are in position already, going to jump quickly in, and now pull back once again. However, I believe Idra's going to be able to intercept this medevac very, very easily. Not quite sure what Idra's trying to do here. Going to go ahead and drop some of those, and now perhaps pull away just a little bit further. What is Jinro doing? Taking a lot of damage on the medevac, and he may lose this medevac down to 14 hit points. It needs to run away down to 6. That is not good at all. So down to 6 hit points on that medevac, and Mutalisk should be coming out in just a moment to handle that there, as a Viking now was able to shoot down one Overlord. This low hit point medevac gonna perhaps try to do another drop. 3 Mutalisks are currently being trained up, as there are now Hellions on the front door as well. Hellions split harassment across multiple bases. In comes the Queen. Zerglings, however, gonna get some easy damage. No, the Hellions are trying to run away, able to get off 2 drone kills. But now in come some free Hellions, pushing up over into the natural expansion, and you can see how nerfed all of these Blue Flame Hellions were, as a lot of low hit point drones were simply not destroyed because of the reduction in damage. Hellions are now backing off. It doesn't look like Jinro really did as much damage as he needed to, but he is even on bases right now, and with the additional mule and not as much gas, he is lucking out a little bit. Jinro does have a lot of supply depots here. Very, very nice wall, preventing any banelings from being able to bust this bunker. As you can see, a swarm of Zerglings just sitting outside the front door. Now, Idra has to get this third base up and running. He knows that his opponent is currently running onto. He's already done a good job to minimize the amount of damage that the Hellions were able to do. As long as he's able to push in here now and get a decent more amount of damage, he should be able to come out ahead, able to easily take down a Hellion, as the Viking now comes in and deals a little bit of damage as well. The Viking, however, pulling back. It looks like the Mutalisks are not going to try to engage. There are 4 or 7 Marines. 7 Marines now continuing this push, as the Viking is in position. More Mutalisks trying to push in and out. The Mutalisks are now going to try to push in. Down goes the one Viking back over here. So Mutalisk harassment of Idra just looking very, very strong, as the Marines do not have combat shield, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them to really go toe-to-toe against those Mutalisks, as the Mutalisks are going to start to just grow in number over time. Now, Idra about to get this hatchery up and running. There you go. It has been completed. Nice timing attack from Idra to expand while putting down pressure, making sure that this hatchery would be able to get up and running. Marines now have that combat shield. Level 1 weapons upgrade about to be completed, but the Mutalisk finishing off a lot of those Hellions in the center, and that means that the Zergling army may be able to get in a little bit more damage, as those Hellions are not going to be able to counter those Zerglings, as they've already been destroyed. Idra now looking to establish 2 additional extractors. Idra has really been favoring this heavy Mutalisk strategy, and he needs a lot of gas in order to keep that unit up. These 16 Mutalisks cost 1,600 gas. Very, very difficult in order to even mass up that amount, and Idra needs to keep each of those units alive. And oh, the Mutalisks finding a little bit of a Hellion out in the open, but those Hellions were able to back off once again. You can see another command center being established by Jinro. Jinro most likely will be trying to land it off over here, as Hellions once again getting destroyed in the center. Harvester count 58 to 58, as Idra just doing a great job with these Mutalisks, able to focus down and destroy any units that try to get any serious map control whatsoever. The Hellions do move slightly faster, as those Hellions are trying to just figure out what exactly they can do and trying to just take down those Zerglings, but that has not been a beneficial or an even battle at any point, as Overlords are now coming over here. Hellions may be able to try to come in from the backside, get a little bit of a drone torch there, but no drone torch there. Hellions are now destroyed, as the Marines are once again coming back in. Marines looking to push in here. There are currently no Banelings in this group, but a lot of stim has been used. Zerglings are now being added as well. Queen hiding off back over here. We'll see what Idra does with these 16 drones. He needs to harvest more gas. Still adding more Mutalisks once again, as a free Hellion has been taken down. Jinro not keeping up on top of his macro, not upgrading this to an orbital command, and not lifting it off. So Jinro is going to be sitting on 2 bases for a little while longer, as he finally moves out into this location. Very smart to try to establish some missile turrets. It looks like it will be upgraded to a planetary fortress, as Idra does not see anything just quite yet. The Mutalisks, however, do spot this now, and they're going to get some easy kills on SCVs. And missile turret after missile turret has been destroyed, and now perhaps to get some damage onto this one or command center. And if Jinro loses this command center, that is going to be a very, very heavy loss, as the Mutalisks are now being forced to pull back once more. Marines should have perhaps been in this forward position to try to help that command center land as those missile turrets were being established, as we are now going into a Raven. Raven now with that Seeker missile, very, or a lot more powerful in patch 140, as the Seeker missiles do move slightly faster. So, what is it? I think it moves slightly faster than a Stalker now, a movement speed of 2.97 or somewhere around there. Mutal is still able to move significantly faster, but we'll see how that all works out as Marines now attempt to destroy this hatchery. 1-1 upgrades about to be, or already completed, 2-2 upgrades about to be completed, as the Marines are unable to finish off that hatchery. Hatchery down to about 300 hit points, but it looks like it will get a little bit more building love before that hatchery is done. And now in comes this very large group of Mutalisks, and just a crazy amount of Mutalisks coming in and just dealing a massive amount of damage to the supply depots. Supply depots are now going to get destroyed, and almost supply blocking Jinro, sitting at 152 over 161, as we are now going into Mass Raven. So Mass Raven now trying to come in, but Idra with just a sheer number of Mutalisks, not having to deal with any Thors, able to just simply move in and destroy SCV after SCV. You can still see more than 24 Mutalisks in this ball, and a massive number of units here, as the Ravens may get taken down. One Raven now destroyed. Seeker missile now starting to be researched, but it may be too little too late, as these Mutalisks are pretty much going unchallenged inside this base. Jinro not expecting a critical mass of Mutalisks to simply run in. We are now going into the Raven. The Ravens still being added. Currently 3 Ravens in the air, soon to be 5. Seeker missile now still being researched, as Marines are back over here. Gonna get quickly swarmed. Banelings not gonna be able to splash their target and also finish off the rest of those Marines there. Mass Marines upgraded 2-1. More Ravens still being added. Is it gonna be enough? There is one missile turret. Quickly gets destroyed. Another SCV gets destroyed, as the Marines are trying to chase, but Idra with the faster movement speed able to just get lots of damage. And I believe Jinro, it just doesn't have an answer for this massive number of Mutalisks in TVZ. And wow, this almost looks like a Brood War game. Jinro now moving out with 4 Ravens. He does have enough for some Seeker missiles, and if he can get those off on this tightly grouped number of Mutalisks, it may be too much, but there's nothing that Terran can really do to slow down all of these very fast-moving units. Thors would not even be successful at all, as the sheer number of Mutalisks would be able to simply overpower a Thor in just a matter of seconds. We can now see, are we going to get secret missiles? Oh, secret missiles are now being launched. Those Mutalisks are deciding to back off. Very, very smart, but there is no durable materials. Those secret missiles will never, ever reach their target, as they're going to be landing and falling down in just a moment. So very important to get that, get the durable materials that I believe it tracks for an additional 6 seconds. And that also buys you more run time on those Mutalisks. Even if you don't get the kill, there in comes some Banelings, or there's a secret missile there, but that isn't going to be enough. The very high energy Mutalisks quickly getting destroyed. Only Medivacs being left behind, and there's not enough Marines, and I believe that will be the GG, as the Planetary Fortress was destroyed back over here, and now the Mutalisks simply just coming in and finishing off the rest of the Medivacs. That is going to be all she wrote, I think. There's not much that Jinro can do, as Idra more than double his opponent in total food size, and more than quadruple in terms of total army in total army costs. Marines now just trying to fight back the swarm, but there is the GG, as Jinro has left the game. So Jinro losing game 1 to Idra here on Dual Sight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.